So today I just filmed my base, how I do my foundation and how I get it smooth and dewy, and even though like I have acne, it doesn't really show through. So if you're interested in how I do my foundation and my makeup base, just keep watching. I always start off my makeup with moisturizer. My skin tends to be, now it's kind of dry, but even when my skin was oily, I always use moisturizer. You have to moisturize your skin. You should want to moisturize your skin always. I hate how my face feels when it's like dry. I can't focus if my skin is dry. You have to think about it. How could your makeup look good if it's sitting on top of something that's dry and crusty? It ain't gonna work out. So the next thing I always do is you need a good primer. So I go in with a base that's good for oils. It controls my oils. This is the Milani Prime Shield. I used to be an oily girl. Maybe last year, I would say last summer, I was very oily. Really, since I hit puberty, I've always been pretty oily. But in the last year, my skin has gotten to be very, I wouldn't say dry, but it's combination. So it's not too oily, it's not dry and crusty though either. So next I will go in with my Porefessional. This is like a small tester size. I like this one, and there's a teal version. I don't notice much of a difference. But yeah, I go in with a good amount of this, and I put this everywhere where I have pores that are pretty big or visible, which is like typically just right under my eyes, on my cheeks and my nose. And this is just like a pore filler. This will smooth out your skin. You'll notice that as you apply it, it gets, your skin feels smooth. This is my favorite, one of my new favorites. It's the e.l.f. Luminous Puddy Primer. It's so cheap, so you know you can afford to use a lot of it, and I do. I use a good amount of it. This just helps even out your skin, make it all smooth, and it doesn't clog your pores, and it also doesn't make it greasy. I rarely do my eyes and my eyebrows first. I normally do that after I do my foundation, but for the sake of this video, I just went ahead and did it. And then lastly, just to set it all in place, some setting spray. I love this e.l.f. makeup mist and set. They used to have a, well, they probably still do have a matte formula, but since I'm not so oily anymore, I just get the regular stuff and I just lightly mist over my face. Feels so refreshing. I didn't show you, I forgot. This is the Proactiv Plus, the Complexion Perfecting Hydrator. That's what I use. I normally put this on after I put on my, and I have pretty sensitive skin, so I tend to use like basic kind of products. So this is just Target brand moisturizer, less than $10, and this is comparable to Cetaphil. That's a good brand. I like that brand too. All right, so once I've done all of that, I don't color correct, but I will take some of my concealer and just go over like my little blemishes, just go over my blemishes, and then I don't really blend that out. I just let it like sit up there. So for my foundation, I am like a drugstore cheap kind of girl. I actually don't have any high-end foundations. I want to try the Fenty foundation, but I'm broke, I'm in college, I can't afford it, and these work just fine. So these are my favorite two foundations. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and I also have this in a dewy formula, but I like this formula. This looks like a filter all day long, all day long. And then my other favorite is Covergirl. This is actually the foundation, the first ever foundation ever that I bought myself. Not this bottle, but this formula. And they've changed the packaging a little bit, but ride or die. And then I'll just dot that on my face. I go in with a brush first, and then I'll go in with my beauty blender. So this is actually the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I don't have like a favorite foundation brush. I tend to use anything that's dense or kabuki like. I remember when I was younger, I used to swear only by a beauty blender. I thought I would never go back to a brush. But now that I'm into the more full coverage look, I definitely go with the brush every time. Because sometimes, well, I just haven't found the right sponge that doesn't absorb all of the product. Or not all of it, but most of it. I mean, whenever you go to wash the beauty blender, all the foundation comes out of it. Yeah, all that stuff should have been on my face. But yeah, I love this combination of foundations because it feels like nothing is on my face. And that is the goal. And always make sure you go into your hairline, blend into your hairline. I like to go in with my sponge. This has to be damp. If it's not damp, it's not, I don't know, it's not gonna work. It's just a dry sponge. So just run it under the water and wring it out. Don't put a dripping wet sponge on your face. So there's no harsh or uneven patches. And I just go through it, make sure it's smooth. And that is the foundation. These are my favorite makeup wipes. Equate, again, Target makeup remover. I like these because while they're oily, they do a good job of actually taking off the makeup, especially like if you use waterproof mascara. This takes that off like a dream. Can't stand makeup on my lips. It looks goofy. So next I'll go in with my concealer. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and this is the shade Light Ivory. I tend to just pick up any shade in this range. I don't pick up a specific shade. I'm not that picky about it. And I don't use a lot of concealer. I just put on a little bit just to brighten up under my eye. And I just squoze out. I remember when they were $1.99, $2. But you know, everything's gone up. They be taxing for everything. It's crazy. And then I'll just kind of let that sit for a minute. I know it looks a little crazy. I just let it sit for just a minute. And what I'll do in the meantime is I'll go in with my contour. This is also the LA Girl. This is in the shade Toast. This is a little dark for me, but for the summer and the fall, I feel like I can kind of get away with it. I also go in with the Wet n Wild contour stick. I am at the end. But I love this. This is in the shade Oaks on You. And then I will go in with just a stippling brush. When I first started makeup, I used to use this brush for my foundation. Terrible idea. I don't know who told me that, or I don't know. But terrible, horrible idea. Even though this is a stippling brush, I tend to use this in circular motions because I don't know why, but even though it's the same brand concealer, maybe it's the shade or something, this tends to dry out faster, the contour does, than the concealer. So I have to work pretty fast with this. But I like doing the contour first because if you overdo the contour when you go to blend out the concealer, you can correct it. Mainly it's just the edges that I'll go out and blend. That's what makes it look harsh, is if you don't blend the edges. So what I do is go in with the butt end of the beauty blender. Just blend, blend, blend. You want to make sure that you get the contour and the hollows of your cheek. Eventually, when you do your makeup enough, you don't have to make that silly face. You just can kind of feel what's right and what's not right. Letting the concealer set just lets it get a little bit more full coverage. I mean, letting it dry just gives it a little bit more full coverage. I don't conceal under my eyes a lot. I don't really like the look. Maybe I don't have the right shade or something. It's just not really my thing. But when you blend it out, it still looks good. For my nose, I go in with just a little, this is actually an eyeshadow brush. And I'll just go in and blend it out. I like to blend my contour up into my eyebrow. And keep it right along the bridge of my nose. It just kind of slims it out a little bit, make it longer. And then I'll go over that with my sponge. And then that is the base. What I will do before my concealer creases is I'll go in with just some powder. I haven't found a good translucent powder, but I do love this old LA Girl concealer contour palette. It has contour shade, bronzer shades, and several different highlighting shades. And I just brush that up there. I don't bake or anything, just to set the cream. And then once I have all of that, I will drench my face in some setting spray. This is my Ride or Die. This is again the e.l.f. Mist and Set Ride or Die. I love it, and it's so cheap. Ideally, you'll want to avoid your eye makeup, but yeah. And then while this is still setting, it looks really wet right now. It's not really that wet. I will just lightly just go over everything. Especially the areas that tend to not be blended well together, like the forehead right here. Finally, I will go in with my highlight. So for my highlight, I'll use the Fenty Beauty. This is the Kilowatt highlighter, and this is in the duo shade Mean Money and Hustla Baby. And oh my gosh, you guys, it's cracked. Wow. Still usable, very much so, but it's just cracked. So I love Hustla Baby. I feel like Mean Money is a little too pale on my complexion. So I don't really mix those two together, but I'll just wet my face again. I feel like because the highlighter is a powder, it applies smoother when your face is a little wet, and then it'll set into, wow, that's a lot. It'll set to the rest of your base pretty well. And this is just the e.l.f. highlighting brush. I just use a little bit. I used to go crazy. If you knew me in high school, I used to go crazy with my highlight. Not so much anymore. Just enough so that you see I paid good money for this. Actually, even though this is old, this is probably the most expensive product that I've ever bought. I hate spending money. I do, so when I splurge, I splurge. And this wasn't really even a splurge, but you know when you're broke, everything's a splurge. For my nose, I'll just take a really thin eyeshadow brush. I like to make like a little exclamation mark. And then I'll blend it with my finger. Hi guys. I'm filming a video on my campus. I'm an RA. And that was some of my residents waving in my window because I have my setup right in front of my window so they can see me. It's kind of weird, but it's cool. It's how I get the best lighting. Go in with some more setting spray. I love to set my face. Another one of my favorite setting sprays is the all-nighter setting spray. That is good, especially now with like face masks and stuff. That helps so it won't transfer into your mask. But I will say that wearing a mask, I haven't been wearing that much makeup because half my face is covered. So normally I'll just do my eyes and my eyebrows and I can get away with that because half my face is covered. And I don't play about a mask. You won't catch me in public without it. Sorry. People are dying. My people are dying. People don't believe Corona's real. Corona's real. And that is how I do my base. So my foundation, well, my moisturizer, primer, then I do my foundation, and then my highlight. Well, typically after I do my foundation, I'll do my eyebrows and my eyes, and then I'll come back and I'll do my concealer. If I do it, I always contour and bronze, always, and then my highlight, and then set it, pat it, set it, blend it, set it one more time for good measure, and yeah, so that is how I do my base. Thank you guys for watching. I almost forgot to show you guys. I am an independent jewelry consultant with PAPARAZZI Accessories. I sell $5 jewelry. It's nickel and lead free, and I have lots of styles. I'll leave my website in my description box and you can check it out. But really quick, I just wanted to show you this necklace. Dangly, it's very pretty, silver and black. And then every necklace always comes with a complimentary set of earrings. So these are just simple black, but the beauty is you can always mix and match. You could put this with hoops, you could put this with a lot of stuff. So these are the earrings, and then also this is a ring. This is $5 also, beautiful ring. And the ring is one size fits all because it's stretchy on the back. So if you're interested, I'll leave my website down below. The ring has a matching bracelet. It's actually like the same design. Yes, so this is $5 and it comes with complimentary earrings, the necklace, and then this ring is also $5. And if you get the bracelet to match, you can do a set for $15 and you have beautiful jewelry and it lasts forever. So if you're interested, check out the link